Alright, if you couldn't tell by the hyperlapse, we had a catastrophic event happen. Uh, got everything mounted up, had 3 out of 4 of the poles on the top, and it went sideways on us. So when it went sideways, it actually sheared 3 sets of the mounting brackets that we had just put in. So I've got more rivets. I'm gonna re-rivet it. There was nothing really that I could have saved. Unfortunately, it popped all the rivets, and that's all there was to it. So once that happened, everything just shifted sideways, and off it went. I've sat down for about half an hour, tried to figure out some ideas. I've come back out, cut the rivets that were still left. I think I only had 2 left in there. The rest of them pulled straight out. It actually took the head off. I know y'all can't see it, but I've got them sitting in front of me. Took the head of the rivet off. We've got a couple that are now free floating inside. I'll get them out eventually. For right now, they're just gonna roll. That's not a problem. I bent 2 mounts. I bent them back into place. They're not too bad. Got an idea in my head. You'll probably see it in the time lapse, but yeah, how I was doing it, obviously not how you're supposed to. All right, I know I'm a little dark, but what I'm doing instead of my first idea is I'm going around, I'm zipping everything together. So I'm gonna have the top and the bottom already secure. What I'll end up doing is actually taking my sawhorses and putting inside with me, and then I'll put the arms back on that way. I don't know why I didn't think of that the first time, but as you can see, it didn't take too big of a change as far as redoing everything. Not explaining it goes a little quicker, but it took me about probably 10-15 minutes. I redid 3 mounts. I put the top back on and then started zipping in roughly 10 minutes. So back to the time lapse. I'll finish this portion. I'll put everything back inside, and then I'll rearrange the camera to get everything in there. Alright, so I was able to get in there, get the sawhorses set up. I don't think that's an easy way either, as you can tell, but it got there. So a little bit out of breath. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to figure out how to do that, and then I'll move the camera in, because there is no room with 2 sawhorses, me, and the arms that I have to replace. So back in a second with y'all. So the solution I came up with so far is I'm going to mount the arms on the bottom alone by themselves, not attaching to the top yet. With this already being zipped up, it's going to be a little warmer. If I'd have thought of this beforehand, I'd have probably just gone ahead, put the arms in place, and then put the top on, zipped around, and then the current idea is to be able to fold up inside, fold the arm inside, let it up, pin it. I'm not sure how that's going to work just yet, simply because once I put 2 of the arms in, or even 1 of the arms in, it's going to extend so far above me. So either I'm going to figure out a way to keep the top from moving too much, which I may end up either tying these up, tying the cord, tying the handles up, sorry, or I'll get some cord out of my closet and just make a short stint to where I can adjust afterwards. So I'll just loop it, put a taut line on it, and that way whenever I get all 4 in, then I can level up individually until it's at height. And that actually sounds like the best idea so far. And if I do that, I will show you the knots that I use, everything that goes into it, and then I'll do it, same way, time lapse it and figure out how to do that slow enough to where time lapse will keep up with it, fast enough to where you're not just sitting there for 10 minutes. Either way, back to this, I'm going to time lapse a little bit, but not trying to do too much on it. So the way I was taught is you make a 6, if you can see the 6, and then you go in the hole, around the tree, and back out. Technically it's out of the hole, around the tree and back in the hole. You're a rabbit in the story, and I'll show you that again here in just a second. But that's what the bowline is going to look like. And it doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to hold for probably about 10 minutes while I get all the rest of them set up. But we'll do that one more time real quick. So you've got your 6. I've put my working end down here. So you're going to be out of the hole, around the tree. So out, around the tree, and back in the hole. And from that, once you tighten it back up, you have this. And that, once it tightens up, it'll hold just fine. And with the pressure that these struts are going to put on it, that's going to tighten up really good. So you want to have a little bit of a loop down here because you're going to end up cutting it back off in the minute. So with the bowline, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm actually going to tie it around that bottom bolt that's in there already. Not a big deal. Basically, put your hole, make your 6, and actually start it. Sorry, make your 6. You're going to loop your bolt and then run around your tree. Once it's tightened up, that bolt's in the hinge already, so that's in your bracket. Then on the other side, what I'm going to end up doing is before we even start, I'll put my taut line. Show you what I did here in just a second. I'm just going to show you what it looks like and then show you how I tie it. Again, not a masterful knot, but it is a knot. I have seen it where the tail's going the same direction as your working end. To me, it just didn't make sense. I just learned it this way, so that's the way I've always done it. And somebody can always say, oh, you've always done it wrong, and that's fine. This is, get that all tightened up. This is the way I've been shown, and that's fine. It all works. All you're doing is you're having something that slides along, but whenever you put pressure on it, does not cinch back up into the line. You're having something that holds your knot. So all I did, you're going to loop your bolt over the top, or you can tie it like I'm going to and just already have it cinched pretty well, or where you can cinch it back in before you let go. So got your rope looped over your knot or over your bolt. You're just going to go 1, 2, and then, like I said, go over, and you're on your working end or on your tail end, and then you're just going to cinch up. I know this is horrible trying to do that with my hands in the way, but hopefully it made sense. So from that, I'm going to get back over here to the knots, or to the tent. So I apologize. I already cut the lines before got the video in here. Made way more sense, but unfortunately, once I got everything tied in, it was just one of those like, hurry up and pick it up. I do still have to come back around and attach the tops of these covers. So that will be its own, but that will be easy. I'll just take one of my trekking poles and one by one go around, put those in. One thing I did notice is through all this, apparently I've gained another hole in the wall that's not too big. My plan for that one, I'm just going to tape the back of it and brush on and make its own patch that way. It shouldn't be that bad. It's maybe a 1/4 inch. It's one ripstop square, so it's not that bad. You can also tell on this side where my patch is for the large patch that we did show, I believe in part 2 I put that in. So it's holding fine, looks good, so it shouldn't be a big deal. At worst, I'll figure out a way to put this thing on its side and patch that hole, but I really think it'll be fine. I'll just put a few layers of painter's tape, same as we did on this one. Put a few layers of painter's tape, that way it has enough of an edge to hold that seam. That's it for this project. Hopefully, I think I'm done. Obviously I'll put in a mattress. I've actually got an old Coleman air mattress, one of their mid-90s. I'm gonna try that first before I put too much investment into the interior. I do see one spot that maybe I could re-rivet for one of the arms, but I'm gonna leave it alone at the moment. This will get me going for now. So thanks for watching. If y'all got other ideas, other do-it-yourselves, all this fun stuff, I'm up for it. Just let me know.